Hello, everyone. My name is Michelle, and I am doing day one for Blackout Week for the Lift Every Voice Coalition. I am in the Business and Economics Committee, so we chose to try to do the foundation of like personal finance for this week, so that way everybody can get on board. Or if you need find that foundational information, it'll be here in one place for you to get all the information. I will be going over budgeting today. Tomorrow is debt. We have 2 days of life insurance. We have 2 days of credit and a day for real estate if you want to buy a house. So we did it in order so that way you can kind of see like how everything is all intertwined together. So I will jump right into this. So first things first, only 32% of Americans will be able to cover an emergency of $5,000 or more with cash without going into debt. Approximately 76 million American adults have no non-retirement savings. 60% of working Americans experience moderate to high levels of financial stress. One-fifth of them believe their financial stress has gotten worse in the last 18 to 24 months. 53% of Americans have less than $25,000 in retirement savings. 43% of those people are over 55. When asked how they make financial decisions, 44% of working Americans said they guess. And that is not, that's not a good thing. We are a biblical-based organization, so I will give you some of the scriptures that will deal with budgeting and finances in the general. No one can serve two masters. Either you will hate the one and love the other, or you will be devoted to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve both God and money. Matthew 6:24. The rich rule over the poor, and the borrower is slave to the lender. Proverbs 22:7. For even when we were with you, we gave you this rule: the one who is unwilling to work shall not eat. I say that to these kids that live in my house all the time. So that's 2 Thessalonians 3:10. And the plans of the diligent lead to profit, as surely as haste leads to poverty. Proverbs 21:5. So Dave Ramsey's 7 baby steps. We will be kind of hitting on the first two for the first 2 days of these videos. So step one, put $1,000 into an emergency fund. If you make under $20,000 a year, then you can do 500. Step two, pay off all debt except the house, utilizing the debt snowball. Step three, put 3 to 6 months of expenses in an emergency fund. Step four, invest 15% of your household income into a Roth IRA and pre-tax retirement plans. Step five, college funding. And that's if you have children or if you want to go back to school, then step five will be good. If not, you can kind of like eliminate step five unless you want to save for your grandchildren if your kids are out of college. Step six, pay off your home early. Step seven, build wealth and give. And step seven is where we all want to be. So budgeting basics. When people hear budget, they think it is constricting. They never found the budget that worked for them. Fear of what they may find, because a lot of time we waste a lot of money. Budgets or cash flow plans, which is what some people call them, do not work if you leave things out, you overcomplicate it, you choose a budgeting style that's not right for you, you don't work it or live it out. So we'll write everything down and still spend our money willy-nilly, because I have been guilty of that too. A written plan helps to remove or manage crisis situations. Manage money goes further. A written plan, if lived out, will help you see where you overspend. A written plan, if lived out, help manage guilt of not having enough for necessities. A lot of times we do have enough for necessities. We just buy things that we want instead. So step one is look how you view money. You have to reject negative thoughts about money. If you have a poverty mentality, thinking you'll never have enough, you can't think that way. Or that you'll never get out of debt or pay off student loans, you can't think that way either. Or money will always be around, so you waste it thinking you'll always have money. Step two, appreciate what you have and don't focus on what you don't have. So if you already have a lot of stuff, just utilize the stuff that you already have. You don't have to have the newest version if your version that you have is working fine. If you want something, wait 24 hours to buy to see if you still want it. A lot of times I'll be like, oh my God, I gotta have this. And then when I wait, I realized I don't really want it. I was just trying to impulsively get it. Unless it's something that's like limited edition and you really, really want to have it in your collection, then don't wait. But if you can, wait for it. Step three, shop for who you are. Don't buy clothes that may fit later. Don't buy something that you think you'll use later. Just shop for who you really are. Step four, don't compare yourself to others. So don't try to keep up with the Joneses. I'm telling you, Facebook, Instagram, a lot of these people are not who they say they are. And when you really know them, you'll be like, okay. Manage your stress. Do not be a compulsive buyer. Buying things is temporary. We must deal with the real issues. So if something's stressing you out, shopping isn't going to help. It's just going to temporarily ease what you're feeling. And identify your triggers. Understand your behavior. Why and when do you spend the most money? Create a diary or a journal to write down what you purchased, why and when. Help you track your moods when making impulse purchases. So you can see, like, my anxiety was high because this thing triggered me, or I was feeling depressed because this thing happened. Talk to someone about how you feel when you are stressed to avoid impulse buying. Limit your stress as much as possible. I know that's really hard, especially dealing with the pandemic and everything going on with the protests and, with everything happening. Limiting your stress is not the easiest, but we have an advocate with the Father, so we can just depend on God and let Him be our strength. Get organized. Know what you have to avoid buying unnecessary items. Know when bills are due and paperwork you need. And introspection. Who are you? A lot of times we have to look inside of ourselves to realize I may not be this person, or I should try to work on being this person. And also, it helps us to get a better grasp on areas that we need to work on for ourselves. So step 2, pre-budgeting. Figure out your why. Maybe you want to get out of debt. Maybe you want to buy a house, put your kids through college. Whatever your why is, focus on that. So when you want to buy the latest, whatever it is, you'll know, hey, I didn't budget for that. I can't get that even though I want it. So it's kind of like delayed gratification. Your why will give you the reason why you should delay that gratification. Track all your spending for 30 days. Write down all your bills, include how much you pay and the due dates. You can use a pencil and paper, spreadsheet, or free app like Budget. Track your miscellaneous spending, and don't try to change your spending habits so you can see where you spend your money, because you'll make categories for your budget, because you want your budget to be realistic for who you are. And plus, you can also see how much money you waste. So if you try to change your habits, you won't feel like, oh, I waste this much money. At one point, I was spending like $10 a day on breakfast and lunch, and I was like, I could do something else with that $200. So I stopped doing it and I started packing, and I saved a lot of money doing that. So just look into that as well. Ways you can see ways you can cut back. And track all your income and your payday. So if you got a side hustle, you drive Uber, you got child support, you got a job, you got a second job, whatever your income is, make sure you track all your income and your pay dates so you can see when most of your bills are due, when you get most of your money, so you can kind of make sure you're not going to be late on any of your bills. Write down any big purchases or bills coming up: life insurance premiums, car insurance premiums, like whatever kind of insurance you may have, vacations, taxes, car repairs, and tires. So budgeting types: zero-based budget. Every dollar has a job. No dollar is unemployed in the every dollar budget. Make it harder to overspend because you know exactly where your money is going, which is why it's good to create categories that work for your lifestyle. Always make sure to budget for personal or fun money. Oh, another budgeting top is cash envelopes. You put everything into envelopes and you pay your bills and expenses from the envelopes. Once you are out of cash from the envelopes, you cannot spend anything else. It makes it harder to overspend unless you're going to start dipping into your bill money, which I wouldn't suggest. And I do like a combination of both. So for my personal money, for allowances for the kids, because I have custody of my cousins, for that, and groceries, gas for my car, and I can't think of the other one right now. I put those in cash envelopes. And I couldn't do all of it in cash envelopes because I would be kind of, worried about it. But you can purchase some really good cash envelopes online in order to keep in your wallet to keep them safe. So I would suggest doing that if you want to do that. But it's good to have like a combination of both. If you know you're going to spend too much in a grocery store, which is why I do cash envelopes for groceries, you can put, hey, I have $250 this 2 weeks for groceries. I can't spend over that because it's not in the budget. And eating out is my fifth one. And once you spend all your money eating out, I take the kids I was taking them to McDonald's after church on Wednesdays because I would get off of work. I wouldn't have time to really cook them anything. So we would get McDonald's before church so that way we can go to church. But now I guess it's not that big of a deal because church is still closed. So here are some suggested percentages for the different categories. So here is a sample blank monthly budget. So it has the income, the budget amount, the actual amount, the difference, and any notes. So where it says total income minus total expenses, that will be zero. They have expenses and savings like retirement, college, basic, and other. So some budgeting tools is the for electronic, you can use Every Dollar app, Budget, YNAB, and Excel spreadsheet, and then pencil and paper, which is what I actually prefer. So you can use a notebook, a budget printable, and budget planners. And I have a budget planner, but I also use Budget to track my spending while I'm out to make sure like I'm not overspending in any of my categories. And then when I reconcile my budget, I'll have all the information that I need and I won't feel like I'm missing out on anything. So here is a sample, like if you wanted to use like a calendar, you can use a calendar to write out. And I would suggest this because I would say my calendar really keeps me together. So for like my monthly view in my budget planner, I use the calendar to write down all of my pay dates, write down like when everything is due, and it helps me to like at a glance see everything that's going on. You can make a calendar by hand if you would like. If you want to do that, you don't. It doesn't have to be like anything fancy. So a sample zero based budget. So they have the total monthly income at $4,000. They have their rent at $1,100, their renter's insurance at $20, electricity, gas, water, cell phone, internet, Netflix, and Hulu under utilities. Then they have their food, their debt, and they have their personal and miscellaneous transportation, sinking funds. I do have sinking funds, but maybe down the line we'll go over sinking funds and more in depth with cash envelopes and charity and giving. So these after they broke all this down, it equals to zero. So you could do the monthly one first. And I will also suggest to know when all your due dates are, so that way you won't run into any problems when you do your actual paycheck budget. So this is good to have like again a glance of what is coming out of your check and how much your income is. So here is a sample paycheck to paycheck budget. So it's paycheck one. So you would put down what you expect your paycheck to be. I'm salary, so my check is always the same. So for my expected and my actual always be the same. But if you're not, like say for people who are essential workers out there, they got a raise. So maybe they were expecting $500 and then their check was actually $700. So your rent or your mortgage wouldn't change. So then you would subtract all the bills that you have due, and personal would be like a cash envelope. Restaurants could be a cash envelope. Groceries could be a cash envelope. So if you want to do cash envelopes based off of this paycheck to paycheck budget, you would take 280 and you would take $380 out, and you would just put them in three different envelopes labeled groceries, restaurant, and personal. And the rest of it would just come out into your account of how you want to pay it. So, and this is, you see where it has budgeted for 250 and actual 267. So with the 267, you if you if you have cash envelopes, you only have 250 on you. I guess you could use a card, but if that's what you budgeted, you kind of it'll help you stay better into what your budget is. So then you have your phone, your restaurants, your gym, your personal, and you see how they went over on personal for 45.50. That's why it's good again to do cash envelopes, because once you're out, you're out. But they had $200 extra, so it does help. But you could put that towards debt and make your debt snowball bigger, as opposed to spending it more on personal and groceries. Unless you have a family and it's something special going on, then that's different. But budget for those as well. So as you see, after they have subtracted their bills, their total expenses originally was $3,000, which made them zero. So once they actually put their actual amount, their rent was the same. They went over on groceries, under on utilities, Phone, and this is how real life works. Phone was under, they spent perfectly at the restaurants, their gym, and personal was over. And so then they went ahead and put their debt payments down. So that's what they would spend on debt. What was the difference? So what they did is after they went over and under on their categories, anything left over to make it a $0, they just added it all to their debt payment. So they could be on the debt snowball, which would make perfect sense of why they paid it more. But it helps you get out of debt faster, and now you're still at a $0 budget. So for some good budget planners, I would suggest that you check out Michelle. You can check her out on Instagram, YouTube, and she has a website. I think it's emichelle.com. She has good price budget printable. It's a whole budget planner, and it has like the calendar. It has like the year at a glance. It has a monthly bill due tracker. It has like a monthly overview. It has a paycheck to paycheck budgeting. It has so much stuff in that planner. So I would suggest to check that one out. That's a really good one. If you want more information on how to like budget for miscellaneous income, to budget for variable income, to low income, you can check out my YouTube channel under Michelle Turner. And I go into more depth about the different kind of budgets that you will get. If you have any questions, you can email me at moygusto@hotmail.com or DM me on Facebook under Michelle Turner or IG under Planner Girl Shell. And the monthly budget example came from thebudgetingmom.com. She has a really good site. The second monthly budget example came from Living That Debt-Free Life. So much encouragement on that website. And the weekly paycheck sample came from easybudgetblog.com. They have a lot of good information as well. So again, if you want more details, you can check out my YouTube channel because I do paycheck to paycheck budgeting with my paychecks. And you can go to those websites mentioned, and they will kind of give you a lot of information as well. And Michelle, her YouTube channel, she does paycheck to paycheck budgeting. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will see you in another video, and I hope this helps someone. And again, if you have questions, don't be afraid to ask. And if you can, join the Lift Every Voice Coalition, LEV. The Lift Every Voice Coalition. Join us and join one of the committees. Hit the ground running. We would love to have you. All right, you guys. See you later.